You're listening to the Triple O podcast. Triple O stands for Our Opinions Only. I'm Brandon Brown, and I'm joined by two other co-hosts, Mike Boykin and Stephanie Cassiano. In episode 3, we answer listeners' questions. We talk about prenuptial agreements. We talk about kids that are just out of control, B-A-D, bad. And last we get into our bags and talk about Murses, handbags. Remember, Triple O Podcast is not safe for kids, so if the kids are in the car, just go ahead and drop them off at grandma's house because this isn't for them. And as always, enjoy the show. All right, guys, you are listening to episode 3 of the Triple O Podcast. Triple O stands for Our Opinions Only. I am Brandon Brown, and I am joined by my two other co-hosts, Mike Boykin and Stephanie Cassiano. Guys, what's going on? We are back for episode number 3.
What's going on, world? America, Japan, Mexico, Singapore, wherever y'all listen at, what's happening?
Hey, that's right.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for coming back to our show.
Heck yeah, man. I think, like I said, this is our 3rd episode. We put out an episode maybe last week or the week before. I hope you guys are checking it out. We got a lot of great feedback from that. So I definitely thank you to the listeners that listened, checked out our show, and offered feedback and sent in questions. I really appreciate you guys. That's how we keep this thing good and going great. So thank you for those that are listening and providing feedback. We love it. And we'll definitely implement it here on the show. So if you're listening and you leave us comments, definitely leave your name so we can shout you out here because we definitely appreciate you. But yeah, so Mike and Steph, how was you guys' week since we last met?
My week was pretty busy. So usually I go to my nephew's baseball games. So this last week it was in DeSoto, Texas. And so that's like a long week from Tuesday to Saturday. So it was a pretty interesting week, long. I think he made second in the World Series. I believe he's number 1 in Texas now for 7U. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah. So it's a pretty exciting weekend. I'm the Thea yelling from the stands that he needs to run faster, or what was that? Or you can do better than that. So yeah, definitely had a good weekend cheering him on.
In a person in the stands that everybody's looking back at like, who brought this woman?
Yep. Like, damn, she's crazy.
Mike, how was your week?
It was cool, actually. I went to Mexico.
Oh, hell.
I went on a date in Mexico.
You went on a date? Okay.
I just wanted to say one thing. I'm not going to talk about the date, but I will say AMC needs to step their game up.
AMC
I go to the theaters over there. They got popcorn, right? And they got Ikes, Doritos, all that shit on top of their popcorn. I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Leave it to Mexico to invent some damn random ass stuff.
So they have, what you're saying is they have those like candies on top of the popcorn?
It's not candy, it's
chips.
Chips on top of the popcorn.
Yeah, it's good actually too.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot of chips, I think. I mean, I like candy in my popcorn, but not chips.
You know what?
You ain't never had Takis and popcorn, obviously. It's dope.
My mom eats cranberries in her popcorn. She'll get like the dry,
like the candied ones,
like the dry cranberries up in her popcorn and eat them that way. I don't know where that comes from.
I like Sour Patch Kids. It's a sweet and salty mix. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's not bad. My week hasn't been too bad. I think this week has been flying by. I don't know where the time is going. Feels like summer is winding down pretty quickly.
I know.
How we got to July, like just through July already. Like it's
right.
It's gonna be school time. It's gonna be back. Kids going back to school, and I think we're starting to move back towards getting back to normal. But I had one of my coworkers sent me a report saying that Tennessee is number 1 for new COVID cases that are spiking throughout the country. So we'll see. We'll
shoot.
Back on lockdown here shortly. So we'll see.
Lord. Yeah, I mean, I think today marks a month till school starts over here. So that's coming pretty quick. I believe they start the middle of August, so that came quick.
Yeah. I know. I think our kids go back at the end of August.
Oh wow.
25th or something like that, but we'll see. But yeah, so I think we got a great show today. Definitely some interesting topics that we're going to get into today. I know we had someone wrote in a question last week about, we were talking last week about weddings and should men help plan, the weddings or be involved in that process. And we got a lot of good hits.
Hell no.
And
he stands firm on his his feedback.
A lot of people ask or write in about that, and one of the questions that we had that came from that whole conversation was, what happens in the event, let's say you're doing some planning or just anything in a relationship, and you guys get to a point where you can't agree on something, whether it's a wedding issue or just maybe just like something in the relationship in general, where you can't come to an agreement. What happens? What do you do in that point? What happens? What do you guys think?
What do you think happens? I
think that with any relationship, there should be some type of compromise. I don't think that you're going to be able to. Everybody's not going to be able to win every time. It's not going to be your way or my way every time. There has to be some type of compromise. But I'm not sure.
Compromise. Get the fuck out.
I don't think that it's realistic just to have it your way 24/7. I know a lot of people say happy wife, happy life, but I really feel like that really sets guys up to be miserable. So, but whatever the case may be, but that's just my take. I think there should be some type of compromise. I don't know.
But if you can't come to a compromise, then why stay together?
Well, I think so. The question was, what happens when you can't come to an agreement? I think there's a saying where they say that acceptance is an agreement, or agreement is an acceptance, which means that I might agree to this, but
agree to disagree.
Yeah, but that I might accept it, but I don't agree to this, and I just do this because I love you and I trust that you have this, whatever this issue is, and you're going to work it out for our best interest. But I think that when you're in a relationship, it should be for the sake of our best interest, and this isn't just like a me kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree on the compromise part, but what if it's about a topic that is I guess something that you can't what is it called? Like your something that you can't get past. Like, what if it really is like a serious compromise? Like, what if you can't get past that compromise? Then what happens then?
Like, I think we were talking before, like the issue of kids, where one person might want kids or another. What do you think about that?
I think that I feel like, so I guess we were talking about what if you were in a relationship with somebody. Initially, y'all talked about wanting to have kids, and then a few years down the line, you kind of live life. So stuff happens, and you for whatever reason change your mind about having kids, and y'all have a conversation, and that's a deal breaker for either or partner. Then what happens? Like, to me, I feel like that's a big enough deal breaker to walk away. I don't feel like there's compromise in that, in my opinion, because I feel like it's such a big deal. Like, I feel like if you want kids and you're with someone who doesn't want kids, and let's say you don't end up having kids because it just doesn't happen for you, I feel like you'll live in what is it, like, I guess regret. Right. You'll live with some kind of, like, what is that called when you're
regret?
But you're like push, like, what is it called when you're like feels type of way about that person because it didn't happen because of them.
You start to resent them.
Yes, resentment. That resentment. So I feel like that would happen, depending on what the disagreement was on.
Okay. So Mike, you said if they don't agree to what you say, then they need to leave.
Yes. especially if it's something big like kids. No need to stay around somebody who's hesitant about having kids if you know that's something you want.
Okay.
Agree.
So I think that's something like the way Steph, presented it was like if you've already been with the person and then later on in the relationship, you guys said that you wanted kids, and then later on one person changes their mind and says that I'm no longer interested in having kids. What are you left to do at that point?
Leave.
Yeah, and I think that's a really uncomfortable area. I'm never going to tell someone, hey, you need to leave your relationship. But what I will say is this, that based off of your values, based off of the things that you guys agreed to, based off of the commitments that you made to one another, if you feel like that those agreements have been voided or someone else isn't holding their end of the bargain up, then you might want to think twice about what's happening, because a lot of times, like in my neck of the woods, in my experience, a lot of times people will waste months, even years, waiting around on someone to either change their mind or trying to convince them about, why they should do what they previously agreed on. Like say, like in instance where we're talking about having kids, trying to convince a person why they should actually have kids and why, they should do what they said they were going to do, honor what they said they were going to do before. And I get that, because the person that you're with, you love them and you guys had these dreams, these visions together, and now all of a sudden the person is like pulling the carpet underneath your feet. So I get you want to talk and have a conversation about that, but for how long though?
Right. I think also though, like people get in relationships and they know they're like, why can I not talk today? They know they're like, what are they called when they're like, they're red flags. Like they're not going to deal with that type of situation. Like this is something that for sure, if this happens or this person has this, I don't want to deal with this kind of thing. And then for whatever reason, they convince themselves to get into that relationship. And then down the line, you're like, what the hell? Why did I do that? Knowingly that was something that you shouldn't have got into in the beginning. So you kind of set yourself up in a relationship, not so much trying to change that person, but trying to change your own, your own beliefs and your own things that you don't want to deal with, that kind of thing. So
what you're saying is like that person, they find someone that they see potential in, and once they see that potential, instead of them holding their values and keeping their bar where it is, they start to flex around that person that they were trying to conform around them for the sake of being in a relationship.
Right. Or they just think of it, it's it's not that big of a deal, or I'll get over it, or whatever. And really, in the end, you don't get over it. You just
okay. Mike, do you think it's okay to flex your values or your standards to be in a relationship with someone you feel like has decent potential?
No.
Can you elaborate? Can you talk? Let's have a conversation.
You change people. So you sit up here and you try to push your values on somebody, and that's not who they are. Eventually, they're going to show resentment towards you. So you got to think of also what that person's adding to your life and what are you bringing to their life.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Somebody told me relationships are like a fart. If it's forced, more than likely it's usually shit. So it should never be forced in anything.
I mean, I guess there's some validity to that. I mean,
I don't want to agree with that, but I mean,
I mean, absolutely. I feel like in relationships there will be hard times, and no doubt, and I think that in order to get through those hard times, you have to be able to talk it out. And sometimes if you can't talk it out, you should probably get, a third person involved, like a therapist or some professional help to help you guys. But a lot of times people go back and forth on one issue. Everybody's so deadlocked on seeing it their way.
Right.
But for what? For what? When it comes to the matters of a kid, if you knew you wanted kids your whole life and you get with someone who doesn't want kids, there's no amount of therapy that can make you change your mind about kids.
So I don't think that it's so much your whole life you wanted kids and this person doesn't want kids. I feel like there are some times you get into relationships and initially you have this thing set up where you're like, I want, to be engaged for 4 years, and I want to be able to do this, and I want to have kids, and you have this vision or this dream of what you want in the future, and then it doesn't pan out like that. Things change. You grow. Like, you're telling me at 18, 19, 20 years old, say you're in a relationship 4 or 5 years, you want the same thing when you're 26, 24, 25. Like, I feel like people change and your values change, and I feel like that it's okay to make those decisions as far as, deciding to change what you want out of life. But I can understand when you say, that, like, there's no compromise on, having kids, but I feel like sometimes people, I'm not saying like compromise on that. I just feel like there are some situations where that could be an issue.
Compromising to me is, hey, I cook, you clean. Compromise to me is, hey, I don't like you staying out all hours of the night. I need you to come in, a few hours earlier so I can spend time with you. But a compromise is not, hey, I want kids. Well, I don't. So tough luck, bitch. You can't do that. You can't at all, because you're taking something away from somebody that they want so bad. And if you're not too sure if you want kids, you shouldn't have kids with somebody just to please somebody else.
I don't think none of us are saying to compromise on having kids in a relationship. I don't think that's something. I think that was just kind of like a topic. Like, if that were to come up, what would be your thought process on that decision? Like, if you were to have a discussion, we're just talking like that being a topic, not so much that we think that you should compromise on having your children.
Okay, well, I apologize for my loud outburst there.
I definitely understand, where you're coming from in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, there's some things that, like Steph was talking about, that whole resentment piece, where if something's going on and there's something that you value in your relationship and your significant other doesn't value it, you might feel almost alienated in that space, as far as, like, if this is something that you care about, and if you like dogs or something like that, and you go to a pet shop, or you go down to the SPCA and you see dogs, and you're like, oh, look at the dog, and the person you with, like, man, I ain't trying to see no damn dogs. You're like, how could you say?
You're like, what?
Yeah, how could you say that about the dogs?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, you just want. I think it's important, and it needs to be said, that when you're getting in a relationship with someone, you need to ensure that you and the person that you decide that you're going to be with, that you guys actually share the same values. And with sharing the same values, that doesn't guarantee in the future that something won't change, or someone,
right,
won't say that, hey, like, I don't want this for my life anymore. I don't think this is a good idea. That happens. There's no guarantee in anything. However, you should make sure that at least the things that you guys hold near and dear to your heart, the principles, the values, the things that you guys feel like are important in life, those are the things that should be looked into,
right,
beforehand. Because I think a lot of people do a lot of advanced stuff early on in their relationship. And what I mean by advanced stuff, I mean, like, we went on 2 dates and now we're moving in together.
I
don't even know.
I don't even know your last name. Yeah, like, but hey, come on, bring your couch. Like,
hey, let's figure this. Let's date and live together at the same time. And that's a very tough position to be in. I don't think we have enough conversations about that, because people feel like, well, I don't know you. We can still figure out life while dating in the same space. And that causes a lot of conflict, because you don't have an opportunity to break away from that person to figure out, okay, let me see how I'm going to manage this, how we're going to work this out, how we're going to meet in the middle, when you guys are constantly in the middle together. There ain't no, my space, your space. This is our space, and we need to work it out. Granted, some people do this and it works out for them, but I know for a lot of people, this causes a lot of hardship, because you're dating a stranger,
right,
while living with them.
Right.
So
you learn real quick whether you want to deal with that person. Like, hell no, I'm not doing this full. He puts his damn dirt clothes right next to the damn hamper. Don't even put it inside the damn hamper. Like, I'm not doing this. He ties his damn trash the wrong way. He doesn't do it like bunny ears and like, nah, I'm not doing all that. But yeah, I definitely agree.
There's a deal breaker if you don't put bunny ears in the trash can.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Like,
I'm joking. I know.
I'm thinking like, is it a deal breaker?
I fell in the toilet last night because you didn't leave the seat down.
I don't understand how people do that. Like, how do you fall in a toilet? Like, I get it's a big deal, but I also feel like it doesn't hurt to put the damn toilet seat down. Like, why not?
It
but hey,
happens.
that's definitely a...
People have their relationship pet peeves.
Right.
Do you leave the toilet paper over or under? Just all kind of little stuff that I've heard. But I think that brings us into another area in which we were going to talk about today, prenups. Like, should couples get prenuptial or postnuptial agreements? Because a lot of times they talk about having a prenup because, like, you know, if we break up, you walk away with your stuff, I walk away with mine. But does that really serve your relationship? Does it help your relationship, or do you guys feel like that kind of sets your relationship off on a bad start?
Boykin?
Prenups for me is if I got money and you ain't got money and you decide that I'm causing an inconvenience to your life, I shouldn't have to pay you.
What do you mean by that?
So it's all, how can I put this? How long we've been together? What caused you to initiate a divorce? And if these are illogical things, then why am I paying you for a relationship you want to get out of?
But a prenup is before marriage.
I know that, but I'm saying when it comes to a prenup, I'm for prenups when it comes to if I'm bringing more money to the table and you, like, if we build on something together, then no prenups. But if I'm doing way better than you in life, it sucks to say, but I don't want to be taking care of you for the rest of my life if you don't want to be, if you want to be over with me. That's it.
Well, I see a little different.
Go ahead.
I see a little different. I think that the situation with a prenup, number one, a prenuptial agreement automatically in the beginning front load your relationship with the terms in which we're going to end on. And I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm pretty sure the person that you're with, you don't go into a relationship thinking like, let's plan for doomsday. It's like you start out with great intentions that, you know, this thing is going to last, this thing is going to be good, you know, moving forward, and that we're going to be committed to one another to work it out no matter what, you know, whatever the situation may be. And so moving forward, when you come together in a relationship, most of the time people have you collectively pool your finances or you know, once you guys come together, you build a life together. It's not like, well, we built a life in my house, like, so you need to go find your new life somewhere else.
That's exactly what it means.
They're renting that apartment down the street.
Right.
Go move in over there.
So, and I think, like I say, it really puts the relationship in a bad spot to begin with. But I know a lot of times, like I said, in my experience, when I hear people talking about prenups, they'll set it up in the way like, I need to know that you're here for love and nothing else. And you're not here for my money or any of these other things. So sign this. So I'm just like, I see both sides of it. But again, ask if you don't know someone's there for love.
Right.
You know.
Right. If you're questioning that marriage, if you're questioning the reasoning behind that person getting married to you, you should not be getting married. Like, I feel like, but then I also can see if I'm not a millionaire, so I don't know how it feels coming to a relationship as a millionaire, and this person's not as wealthy as you are. But I also feel like we talked about last week, that's you're joining into an us. So that all becomes you and I situation. Like you said, you're doomed from the beginning.
Let's paint this picture, Steph.
Go ahead.
You're a millionaire, right?
Yes.
You marry some bum fuck that works at Burger King.
Wait a minute.
Right? Go ahead. Now, okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Arby's.
That's even.
Subway.
Arby's.
Subway. But you dating this guy.
Okay.
You love this guy. You decide to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, if you guys get married, he cheats on you.
Mm-hmm.
With your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So now you want a divorce. Now you're paying this man alimony for the rest of your life because he stepped outside the relationship.
Okay.
Is that something you cool with?
I feel not that I'm cool with the situation, but I also feel like if I'm walking into a marriage with somebody, like I believe in that relationship. No one walks into a relationship and expecting to get dogged. No one walks into a relationship expecting to get cheated on, but it happens. That's a risk you have to be willing to take if you want to find that forever. Like I feel like that's something, if you're always going to be looking for the end where, oh, this could happen, like whether you work at fucking Burger King or you work at the Trump Tower over here, but like wherever you work, it doesn't matter. Like I feel like if you're always going to be, well, this person doesn't make this amount of money, this person makes this amount of money, I always will set myself up to be okay with or without somebody. So that's my individual self.
But people are very good at putting on masks. How many friends have you made out your life that you thought you guys would be BFFs, and as of right now, you haven't spoken to them in years?
But what is that? What
because people
does that do for me? Like it doesn't. For me, I feel like, why am I going to focus on what
Linda,
this person? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that person is. I don't care. Okay, he has a mask on. That's a risk you're willing to take. I'm supposed to sit over here and give a prenup to everybody.
Not when it comes to my money. Not when it comes to my money.
When you say a person has a mask on, what does that mean?
People show you what they want you to see. You have many people out there in the world right now who have friends that are only friends with them because of a beneficiary friendship. Whether they need money, whether they need, whatever.
Right. And
people use them to a full extent until they can't be used anymore, and then they leave. Same thing happens in relationships. So me personally, if you don't believe in prenups, that's just me. I'm not forcing my opinions on anybody. But if you don't believe in prenups, I highly recommend you need a good 3-4 years to know about somebody. Like I need to have an argument, like a huge argument before you even consider marrying them.
All right, so I understand that there should be a time period in which people get to know one another before they decide that they want to get married and commit, to that long-term forever relationship. But I don't think there's really any way you can really fully get to know a person and know everything about them unless you guys really do the work. Because I know that a lot of times when people step outside of relationships or when people cheat, they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. I did this because of X, Y, and Z." They have all these reasons, and then it comes all out in therapy when people are talking about the reasons of what they want in their relationship, and then they get to talking about, "Oh, I probably should have shared this with my spouse. I should have talked with my significant other about this, about what I was feeling, what I felt like I was missing out on." And then, oftentimes the person that they stepped out on was willing to meet them halfway on some of these things if they would have just had talked with them about that. But people feel like there's certain parts of themselves that they have to hide, that they don't feel comfortable with showing their significant other. So I say all this just to say that there are people in relationships right now that are getting catfished in their own relationship where they're with someone and they don't actually know the person that they're actually with because
they don't want to see. Or they don't want to see.
So we're going to ignore the fact that you don't have people out there in the world who will put on the front just simply because they marry somebody, just the simple fact that they know they're taken care of, whether through marriage or divorce?
I don't think that we're saying that we're ignoring that fact, but also it happens. Like, you can't avoid that. Yeah, like, if you can be with someone 5-10 years and think you know this person in and out, get in a marriage and whatever happened, and that person be a totally different person than you thought that person was. Like, there's no way to guarantee that the person you're with is 110%. Like, that's a risk you have to be willing to take.
Okay, let's paint another pretty picture. How many marriages you've known that last more than 5 years?
I've known a few.
But you know more marriages that end in divorce under 5 years, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, how else does a marriage end?
No, I'm saying you know marriages that lasted longer than 5 years, meaning that they're still together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure you know more people who are divorced than they are. I mean, divorced before those 5 years hit, right?
I mean, yeah, I do know people who have gotten divorced before 5 years.
But you know more people who've been divorced within 5 years than you know people who have been married for 5 years.
I don't know that to be true. I don't know. I can't say that to be a fact.
All right.
I'm being honest. I don't know. I know a lot of married people. I know people that have gotten divorced. I know, being in the military, that the marriage to the divorce ratio and transaction that happens more often than any other community of people that I've been around. So if I look at it in that regard, I could probably say that, and that's probably factual. But
and how much money you make in the military?
It depends on your pay grade.
Okay, so just imagine millionaires, people who know you make millions and millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think those people have that mindset of, oh, I'm going to marry this dude and then get pregnant and then I'm taking care of for the rest of my life? You don't think people have that mindset?
I'm pretty sure when they go to All-Star Weekend and they flocking down there to hot Atlanta, everybody looking for a basketball player. I'm pretty sure that does happen.
There are some people out there who do look for that, but not everyone. Not everyone is. I'm
not saying everyone. I'm not even saying, like, if you're going to go into a marriage and you don't get a prenup, my best advice is for you. You got to make sure beyond of a shadow of a doubt that this person is going to be with you for the rest of your life. And if you can't determine that, I wouldn't recommend getting married.
How do you determine that, though?
Right.
I ain't married. I don't know. But I'll tell you something right now. If I can't make up in my head and say, okay, this person is going to be with me forever, or this is the one, she not going nowhere, I'm not getting married.
So,
man, you jaded.
It ain't about being jaded. It's facts.
No, but yeah, you should know 100% without a doubt the person you're marrying is there for the right reasons. That you're 100%, like, you should.
But like I said, I don't know about y'all, but I know more marriages that end in divorce because people fail to take the time to get to know someone.
But that has nothing to do with my relationship.
To me. So if I can't, whoever I'm dealing with at the time, if I can't see myself, saying this person's going to be with me, whether I'm broke, whatever the case may be, then I won't get married.
I'll say this, and this will be my final piece on this topic. When you get into a relationship or you ultimately decide that you're going to marry someone or be with someone, there's no way you can know what the future holds. No matter, and that's not just, good, bad, or indifferent, whether that person does something or life brings an event into your life and that person gets taken, suddenly, that you get left with kids or something like that. Things are going to happen that that are just unforeseen. Okay. But you can't allow fear of the unknown from stopping you from living your life and being happy.
I agree, but you also can't let fear for being alone put you in a marriage that you're not happy in. And I think a lot of people get married for all the wrong reasons.
I'll agree. I will.
They want the show. They want, They want the sense of somebody being there, laying next to them, regardless of what they do for a living or their personality or whatever the case may be. And like I say, you have to get to know that person. And at the same time, you have to get to know yourself when you're around that person. And above everything else, you have to get to know yourself. And it's going to suck to say this, and I don't care what nobody says to this. You have to love yourself more than you love your significant other. Just for the simple fact that if you leave yourself vulnerable to love this person more than you love you, then you leave yourself open to be hurt.
I'll agree with you.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yep, you got
and
it.
I know people say when you get married, you have to love your partner as equally as you love them. As they love you, or as you love yourself. Which is cool, but at the same time, one thing that I would never do to myself, I would never treat myself like shit. So why would I love somebody more than I love me and have them treat me like shit when I wouldn't even accept that for myself? Feel me?
I got you. I definitely respect that. I will say this to that when you are in a relationship, you should definitely love yourself. You should definitely respect yourself. You should definitely appreciate yourself. You shouldn't go into a relationship broken, looking for someone to bring you together. I've heard a lot of people say, and I understand when they say this, where they're coming from, that when I met this person, I was lost. My life was in a bad place, but they helped me to get back on my feet. But in the process, help to find themselves and show the person what it is that they deserve to be loved, cared for, cherished, to have someone in their life to actually value them for them. Because a lot of times, like speaking to what you were saying there, a lot of times people get into relationships and they have a person that doesn't actually see them for them. They get so busy caught up in trying to be the person that they think their significant other or the person that they're with wants them to be, that they lose themselves in the process. And I think that's where a major disconnect is, in a sense, of the relationship. Because if you aren't happy with you and the person that you're with doesn't care whether you're happy with you or not, but they're just happy with the version of you that they have right now, then you're going to have significant problems in the long run, if not in the short term. Because how long can you go on without, recognizing yourself? How long can you allow yourself to go on before you say, enough is enough? And when you said something earlier about people, jumping into relationships just for benefits, I think you need to ask yourself, what are you actually bringing to the relationship? Because a lot of times, like, we talk about what we see in other people, but what are we bringing? What value do you have to bring to the relationship?
Hold on, let me say this. I want to ask the single people out there to do me a favor. And it's an exercise. I don't know how much truth it holds, but this is a hypothesis of mine. Take a sheet of paper and write down all the qualities that you have to offer in a relationship. On the flip side of that paper, put on there all the qualities you look for in a person. Now, my hypothesis is, if you have more qualities of what you're looking for than what you have to offer, your standards are probably too high. So you need to either lower your standards or raise what you're worth, if that makes sense. And let me finish.
I'm glad.
And if what you looking for if what you have to offer outweighs what you're looking for, your standards are already too low. You'll accept anything because you don't have a clear idea of what you want in a relationship. It needs to be some type of balance of what you're looking for and what you have to offer. And I feel like that's the problem in a lot of relationships. Either you have one person who's, have all these qualities they're looking for in the person, and they don't bring nothing to the table, so the relationship ends bad. Or you have somebody who has all these things to offer, and they're constantly trying to seek approval from this person, but then they realize this person doesn't have any of the qualities I look for in a man or woman. So that relationship's getting bad. So it needs to be a balance of what you're looking for and what you're worth.
Yeah, I definitely, I agree that you should definitely be bringing something and not just looking to take. You need to meet all of my standards, but I'm here to do nothing but just show up, and that's it. But I think that's a great exercise, and if you guys are listening and you find yourself doing that, let us know how it turned out. If you're bringing nothing to your relationship, then I hope that this was a wake-up call.
Right? I got nothing on my page.
Damn, this is blank.
My pen ran out of ink. It's got to be my pen.
Oh, man.
Ladies, in the words of Derek Jackson,
oh, God.
Stop messing with these insecure men. If he can't respect the fact that all you bring to the table is pussy and another man kids, he ain't a real man.
Lord.
That wasn't Derek Jackson.
Pretty sure that wasn't.
That was definitely Derek Jackson.
He had a small shirt on. Okay. All right.
Hold on. Off subject. we were talking about this at work today. I just want y'all opinion. So let's say you got a kid, right? Well, you got a kid. And your kid is being a badass in school. Mm-hmm. And the teacher tells him to, calm down. Your kid gets tough with the teacher, gets in the teacher's face and starts like punching the teacher, punch him in the stomach or whatever. The teacher grabs him and slams him on the table. Mm-hmm. Would you be upset?
If the teacher, if my
didn't hit
son,
him, just slammed him.
If my son was punching the teacher and mm-hmm. the teacher slammed my son in the event to like the defend himself, from the child, I can't say that I would be mad. I would be upset. We would definitely have to have a conversation about him putting his hands on my child. We would definitely have to talk about that. But given all the facts, I can't be mad that a person was defending themselves or trying to protect themselves against someone that was fighting them. Like I said, my kids are young, so that might be something to take in consideration. But if it's like a high school kid, high school kids.
That's what I'm talking about.
What, high school? Yeah,
this was on World Star. A kid was literally like, got in the teacher's face. The teacher was like, calm down. It was a substitute teacher. He's like, calm down. He was like, the fuck you gonna do if I don't? So he started like, wailing on the teacher. The teacher picks him up, slams him on the table, and the kid didn't move for a little bit.
That's what his badass gets.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. I think I don't have kids, obviously, but that's the problem with people. Parents are so pissed off because teachers are having to defend themselves. But you should be able to teach your child to be respectful to adults. Like, they should be running around here punching on nobody. Like, I understand that sometimes teachers can get annoying because we've all been there. They just get on your nerves when you're that age. You feel like you're always right and that teacher's always wrong and you don't want to listen to them. You want to be a class clown or whatever. But I also feel like teach your damn kids some respect, and that wouldn't have happened.
I agree.
Where are the teachers that, you listen to the music and, the rappers and the interviews, they always say, my teacher told me I wasn't going to be shit growing up. Where them teachers?
Where them good teachers at? Talking about, like, where are the ones that are going to fucking fight back? Like, where are those?
Where them teachers at?
Right? Like, I see a lot of those videos, though, online that are, kids going after teachers and either cussing them out or hitting them or throwing things at them. I feel bad for teachers this day and age just because, I'm sure it happened when we were younger, but I feel like obviously the video, phones weren't then, so we never knew what was going on around the world. But I feel like, man, that's some kids are disrespectful as hell.
I think it's good that the teacher was able to handle the situation if it was just putting the student down for a little bit versus because a lot of schools now have like the school resource officers, and if kids start to
by the time they get there.
But when kids start displaying behaviors that aren't appropriate, even like with fighting in school, kids are going to fight. I think that's just something to expect in school. But to get arrested at school for fighting someone else in school, I think that's a little absurd. But I think that teachers have their dual, triple, quadruple had it when it comes to being teachers, because you have to be a teacher, coach, mom, dad, along, trying to keep the class in order sometimes, because some kids are dealing with a lot. Kids got a lot going on. And kids ain't just, coming from home, showing up to school ready to learn. Kids got a whole lot going on. They got situations at home that they don't feel comfortable talking to people about. And, they come to school frustrated. And sometimes, unfortunately, that frustration boils down to them. They're ready to whip their teacher's ass. And for whatever reason, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand that, sometimes kids show up and they're ready to take their frustration and their anger out on, the wrong people, and that definitely shouldn't be the case. So kudos and shout out to the teachers out there, because they deal with a lot when they decide that they want to take on people's kids. That I take my hat off to them.
I take my hat off to the parents who have the kids who want to act out on the teacher, but they know damn well when they get home their parents don't whoop their ass, so they just refrain.
There needs to be more parents out there like that actually care that their kids disrespect adults. Like, I understand. I just feel like that whole situation, disrespecting people, has gone to another level. Like, y'all know how short I am. My nieces and nephews know better. Like, I wish one of them would cuss in front of me, or I wish one of them would try. And my nephews are like tall as shit, but I wish they would disrespect me. Like, that comes with respect, though.
Which brings me to something else. I know I'm getting completely off subject, but this is the thing we talked about at work, and I think this is something that goes good with the show.
All right, that's what we're here for. What we got?
So, I guess the new fad now is men wearing black nail polish and carrying man purses. Now, I was against it at first, like, they're demasculinizing this generation right now. But then somebody pointed out to me, well, back in my day, wearing earrings was, not masculine. Wearing a pink shirt wasn't masculine. So do you think that wearing black nail polish and wearing purses and dresses and calling your homeboy, your nigga, whatever you want to call your friend, babe, do you feel like that's kind of crossing the line, or we just have to accept this generation for who they are?
Crossing what line?
That masculine line.
I think each generation has its own thing where they say this is the level in which, or the bar you need to be at when it comes to being a man or showing that you're truly masculine. But at the end of the day, I think that's just a societal thing. Because you'll hear women talk about, oh, this is what you need to do to be a real man. And obviously, women ain't never been men before. I'm just like, you. How
do you know?
You got the whole blueprint on what it means to be a real man.
I hate those people on Facebook that say, real men don't do this, that, and the third. How the fuck you know?
What my point is that the bar keeps changing as far as what real men are supposed to do, what masculinity looks like. And I think at the end of the day, it's important to be whoever you're going to be, regardless of what society says, what you think masculinity looks like, because there's a such thing as toxic masculinity, where you go out here trying to do all these things that society wants you to do as a man. Don't cry, don't show weakness. And then you have people they come to my office and they're like breaking down because they're hiding all these things in secret because they don't feel like they have a safe place to vent or just to actually break down and like just let the burden off of their shoulders for a little bit, because they feel like if I go home and tell my wife that I'm stressed out about the bills, if I go home and tell my wife that I'm worried about the kids, or if I show that I have fear of something, then I'm going to be looked at as if I'm less than, that I'm not a man. And I can't talk to my friends about this because they're going to laugh me out the building. So we have to really look at what it is, what it is that we're doing and what we're asking. You talked about the fingernail polish, and like at the end of the day, like I said, people have been wearing fingernail polish. The gothic people, the kids. I remember when I was in high school, like it was a whole group of kids walking around in trench coats, fingernail polish, black fingernail polish, and chains. And you talked about the earring piece. I remember when we were coming up, that was taboo. Men weren't supposed to wear earrings, but now, you got men that's out here, got, diamond up studs, all kind of stuff in their ears, or in their nose, wherever. It's just like, you got to be comfortable with being who you are at the end of the day, because the whole line of masculinity is going to keep moving.
But it's not even like, so don't get me wrong. I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I kind of agree with the sense of masculinity being desensitized. Now, I'm not saying like a man, like show emotion, yes, that's fine. Express your feelings, that's cool too. But when you sit up, I don't know, man, like wearing dresses and nail polish and all that other stuff, like, I mean, maybe this is just me, I'm old, so I do believe in gender roles, and I do feel like a man should be the head of his household and the woman is to follow suit of the man. So when it comes to showing emotions and everything like that, you express yourself, and I'm not saying keep it very deep, but at the same time, I don't think a man should be, crying to his woman about, I just don't like the way you treat me. I feel like I should be treated this way. I don't know. I feel like we still need those men out there to teach the future generation how to be men. And when I say how to be men is when things go bad, or, when shit hits the fan, you're able to survive on your own, or you're able to survive, whatever obstacles you come across. And I feel like we kind of baby this generation now.
Well, I think that each generation that has come before us, there have been the elders that they always say that they wasn't doing this back in my generation. The music is bad, y'all. It just, something wrong with this generation. But you got to understand, you can't blame the generation if you're the one that's supposed to be raising them.
I'm not raising first of all, I'm not raising nobody. Let's get that out the way. But I feel like we do these kids a disservice when we don't show them these things, as far as like, not necessarily how to be, I'm saying how to be a man.
What does it mean to be a man? You tell me what does it mean.
Why does nail polish make him not a man though?
I'm not saying the nail polish or anything like that. I'm just saying desensitizing masculinity as a whole.
But you framed it as him having nail polish and people wearing dresses and that sort of thing is us.
No, I didn't say that. I was saying, I brought that up to say, like, when I brought the masculinity things up, I wasn't saying there was this demasculizing men from that. I was wanting to know your opinion on, the nail polish and the dresses and stuff like that. And I was saying that somebody also told me, well, y'all generation wear earrings and pink shirts. And we thought that was, feminine. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying in general with, I don't know. I just feel like we kind of baby this generation into thinking that, life is all cocaine and waffles, and it's not. And I feel like when some of these kids are hit with, a stumping block or a roadblock, they're not gonna know how to overcome it, because we're constantly telling them, you have feelings and there's no reason for somebody to hurt your feelings and everything like that. But it's such a thing when you get into the real world is, corporate America or wherever you decide to work, you're going to come across people who don't feel the same way you do. And
absolutely,
you're going to have to learn how to take criticism, and you saying, I don't feel comfortable doing this is not going to fly.
I think we're talking
so
about
for example, let's be in the Navy. If like right now you have words that are offensive to people, which is fine. Like I've never been called a nigga in my life by a white person until I joined the Navy. And when it was said, I was heated, I was upset, but then at the end of the day, I had to realize that I can't change this person. If you want to be ignorant and stupid and say it, by all means, go ahead. And that's what I mean when I say we've become sensitive. And you can't be you have to learn how to suck shit up and take people for who they are and how they come. You can't sit up here and always say, well, I don't feel comfortable with this, I don't feel comfortable with that, because there are millions of people in this world that's not going to agree with you. And you're not going to agree with their stance. So you have to accept them for who they are. That's
absolutely.
What I mean as far as like being, not necessarily, well, yeah, that's like, I feel like that's a man. A man is supposed to, set his frame and not be moved by what people say or what people do.
I think that same standard should apply to women as well. I don't think that women, you talked earlier about gender roles. I feel like I say whoa to people that put themselves in that gender role box, because gender roles set people up for a lot of heartache and potential failure. And the only reason why I say this, follow me now, is that oftentimes I see people get into relationships and they say that as a man in the relationship, I have to provide, do X, Y, and Z because this is what my woman wants from me. And so I'm doing all these things. And let's say years go on and my ass, I'm wore out now. I'm doing all this stuff for her. Meanwhile now, she never asked me to do any of this. I just felt like that this is what I was supposed to be doing as a man. But I never even asked her if this is what she wanted. So I was just doing all this stuff because I felt like, this is what she wanted from a man. I never even considered if she might want to do something different other than the roles in which she's been doing, or if we might want to change some stuff up, because, I might be with a woman and she might be mechanically inclined. You come home one day, your woman up on the roof changing roofing shingles. She like, oh babe, I'm putting down a new roof. I know we had a leak. I know you were supposed to be doing it last week. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I changed your oil too. I hope you don't mind. What you gonna be like? Oh no, the relationship over. My woman up under the hood, she done changed the oil. These are all the things I was supposed to be doing as a man. The relationship over now. I'll take the trash. I got the trash.
Let's paint this picture then. You dating your woman, right?
Yep.
You out in public, family, friends. She gets the microphone and says, I got something to say. Brandon Brown, I loved you when I knew I loved you was gonna be the one when I first laid eyes on you. She gets down on one knee and says, will you marry me? Uh-huh. Are you gonna start crying and be like, oh my God, yes, I'll marry you. I thought you'll never ask.
I won't say I'm gonna start crying and say, yes, I thought you never asked. I won't say that. I'll probably say that. I mean, I wouldn't play her and be like, no, I'm not going to marry you. Like I said, if my intention is to be with her, then I would say yes. Like, I know it's not traditional for men to do that or be in that position. And I personally don't think my girl would do anything like that. But I know for your, like, for the sake of this scenario, especially now, everybody's got their cell phones out. What do you do, and how do you come back to that later when everyone's not around, and after you decline the person's proposal?
You don't decline. You just act like you don't hear it.
You said she's got the microphone. She's down on her knees. Steph, would you ever propose?
Oh shit, my phone ringing. Hold on. I'll be right back. And just walk out.
No, hell, y'all know that's not happening.
So hold on, do you believe in gender roles, Steph?
Yes and no. So I was brought up very much like Hispanic household, a Mexican household, where my grandpa, my dad, I was always brought up that a woman is in the kitchen, a woman takes the plate to the guy, and me being the girl, like me being the daughter, like I would take my plate to my brothers, take my plate to my dad, like whatever. Like even I think when I was like 15 or 16 years old, I brought a boyfriend to my grandmother's house for like, I don't even know, an occasion, for some occasion. And my grandpa was like, Stephanie, go get him a plate. So he got legs and arms to go get himself a plate. I said, did I ask you? Go get him a plate. Like, so I feel like that's something that I would always have been told, like growing up. And so my biggest thing on that is I feel like if I want to do it, then I will do it, but you're not going to expect it from me. Like, you're not going to expect it. If I want to do it, if I'm like, as a woman going to be like, that's what the role I'm going to play, then that's fine. But for you to just like expect it and be like, that's just what you're going to do because you're a woman, like, there's one thing to be in a relationship and I guess be that I'm definitely a different person in a relationship that I am single. Obviously, I feel like I'm a totally different person, but I also feel like that's the person you're with. I feel like that's your own, like some girls are not gonna do that, they're not gonna serve the person, they're not gonna do that kind of thing, and I feel like that's part of my role as a girlfriend.
All right, but you have what I like to call Southern hospitality, right? I mean, you like a Southern boy, right? Open up doors, pull out chairs when you.
I've never really had that. Nah, I don't want that. I think it's weird. Open my door, yeah. Like open the door, like when I'm walking, okay. But like to pull out my chair, I feel like that's just. I guess I wouldn't be like, nah, don't do that. But I feel like I'm not that Southern. Like I'm not that Southern where that's like something that chivalry has never crossed my path.
All right, so let's say third date. The guy asks you, let's go to Benihana's. Mm-hmm. You go to Benihana's and the check comes. And he tells you, I hope you don't expect me to pay. You got this one.
I'll pay it. But that'll be a laugh on my feelings, dude.
Okay, exactly.
But it's all how you say it, though. It's all how you say it. Like, it's just, there's a certain relationship and a certain, like, tone or conversation. Like, my thing is, a guy is never going to dog me about money. Like, I'm never going to go to a bar and a guy sit next to me and be like, I'm not going to buy you. Bitch, did I ask you to buy me a drink? Like, you're not going to dog me about money because I always have my own. So when it comes to a guy being like, oh, let me take care of you, like, I hate that whole situation. Like, let me flash money in front of you, see if you jump. Like, fuck out of here. Like,
just looks at you and say, all right, babe, or whatever level y'all at this time, like, I don't got the money for this. So one or two things can happen. You can either pay it or we can make a run for it.
I've had something like that happen.
Right? Like, fuck, this is tough. Where's the door? Where's the cameras? Look up. Where the cameras at?
I've literally gone out to eat and like forgot my wallet. Like legitimately forgot my wallet. Like I was just sitting there and like we were sitting there waiting. They brought the check and I'm like, I don't have my wallet. And we're sitting there. I'm like, well, we'll just sit here and make conversation. They can't put us out. So we'll just sit here and talk so we can figure out something. And I had to come clean with the wait staff. I was like, look, I don't have my wallet. The only thing I had my driver's license. That was like the only thing I had. It was in my car, like in the center console. I had my driver's license. Said I can give you guys my driver's license, but I promise you, I'm not.
I'll be back.
Yeah. I don't normally do this. This has never happened before.
I think that whole situation with the whole women expect guys to pay, and if they don't, then that's the done. I think it's all about the person. Like if you're being a douchebag in the like when you're eating or I think it all is about that person, like how they're acting. Like, are they being a douchebag? Like, is there anything there? Is it just like, did they really forget their wallet, or are they really being a douche?
Speaking of, hold up, I want to tell y'all the story. I remember when I was in San Diego for, I want to say, Burke's wedding, and me and Christine, we went out for to the Yard House.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I told her I paid for it, being nice. So we talking and shit like that. And the waitress was so nice. Like, I gave her my credit card. She comes back and was like, "I'm sorry, Mr.
It's declined."
Yes. So first thing, so Christine looks at me like, "I hope you don't expect me to pay for it." So I go to Navy Federal and I got the money in my account. And I'm thinking maybe she'll understand the waitress. I'm like, "Look, it's right here. I have the money. I don't know why it's declined. Run it again." She ran it again and it was like, same thing. So I called Navy Federal and it's sure as shit stank. It was like a 30-minute hold. So I had to muster up the energy like, "Hey, Christine, you mind paying for this and I get you on gas or some shit?"
But why would she not? I guess that's my thing too. Though. I don't understand. Like, why is it such a big deal for a woman not to be able to pay? Like, why is it such a big deal for you not to be like,
well, she paid. She paid for it, and I still got on gas because I told her I was going to take her out. So
I don't know.
I think it can go either way. I know personally, I've been, you know, in my current relationship where my girl, she don't like where I'm constantly paying for stuff. She's like, you know, let me treat you too. I appreciate that you're looking out for me, but let me do things for you as well. And I know for some guys, it can be uncomfortable to have a woman to want to treat you or do nice things for you. Like,
what the hell is this?
Yeah, what is this? Like, you trying to spend your money on me? Like,
are you cheating on me?
Yeah, I can't have people see you spending money on me. Get your money away. This is embarrassing.
Oh, I got something about that.
Oh, go ahead.
So maybe it's just me, but a woman paying for something for me, it doesn't move me. It's not like, "Oh, she paid for this for me." Like, I love her, like, because I've been taking care of myself. So it's kind of like,
I love her.
But I don't think it's
Let me finish. So, I mean, I would like, there's a book called The 5 Languages of Love. Can I finish? Mr. Brown.
Go ahead.
And
what time?
Huh?
Nothing. Go.
So it talks about how you love and how you want to be loved. And those things differ. And you have to, the person you're with, they have to learn how you love and how you want to be loved. And the way I show love is, you know, acts of service and gifts. The way I want to be loved is
lying. You are not about gifts. Lies.
I am. And the way I want to be loved is physical touch and words of affirmation. And those are two completely different things of how I want to be loved and how I love. So you can pay for shit for me all day, but it really doesn't move me. And I'm being dead ass serious. Like, if a girl buys me a PS5 today, I wouldn't turn it down, but I wouldn't play it because I feel like if I wanted it, I could have bought it myself. Does that make sense?
I understand exactly what it is that you're saying. So in that instance, with just based off of your own personal expectation, why is it appropriate then for a man to want to buy women X, Y, and Z without even like knowing whether she wants them to buy things for her?
That's why you learn people's love languages.
So when you go out on the first date with someone, how do you ask someone what their love languages are?
You don't present it on the first date. If you go out on a date with somebody,
don't say the L word on your first date.
No, I'm saying when you're on the first date with somebody, you're getting to know them. So as a man, like, I don't like fuck that, like, non-binary gender roles bullshit. When you go on a date, if the date goes well, you pay. And if she says that she doesn't like men paying, okay, cool. You know that about her. You know that about her now. I'm pretty sure she's not going to go. I mean, she's going to say, "Oh no, I'm not going on a second date with you because you tried to pay."
I don't. Okay, so you talked about the 5 love languages, and that book when I was going to interject earlier. It's a good book. It's by Dr. John Gottman. He does a lot of great research when it comes to couples and love languages. But yeah, like I said, you're absolutely right. It is important for people to understand and how to connect with the person that they're with, and understand the things that it is that they appreciate. Because I think a lot of times that people feel rejected when they try to do things for you out the kindness of their heart, but they're doing things for you that they would like, but it's not necessarily something that you would like. And so the connection is missed. There's no spark there. It's like, I'm going out my way to get you X, Y, and Z. I'm buying you this stuff. I bought you these shoes. I bought you these clothes. I sent you flowers to your job, and I found out that you threw them away. You didn't even appreciate none of this stuff that I did for you. And you're like, well, I never asked you to do any of this stuff. And so, like, the person is now, walking around with their feelings hurt because you didn't appreciate what they did for you. So that can definitely, set a person up for some heartache. But I think it is definitely an important conversation to have. And I don't think a lot of people actually understand their love language. That it's definitely something that's gotten popular over the years, but that's definitely an important conversation to have within a relationship.
Yeah. And it's important as men be men.
Okay, Archie Bunker.
I'm just saying.
Well,
in the Bible, if you want to bring scripture into it,
hell.
If a man cannot provide, he does not eat.
It doesn't say if a man can't, or it just says man, speaking as in humanity.
It says a man.
Okay. All right.
It also says Hebrews.
So I think that we definitely covered some interesting topics today. But just I think what we can boil this conversation down to is the importance of communication and actually doing deep work in your relationship. Just getting to knowing someone's favorite TV show, or having the same football team, or just having, general things in common. I guess, we can just, from our conversation today, we can say it's not enough, that you actually need to do the deep work with someone to actually get to know their ins and outs and their pain points, and trying to get a better understanding of how someone actually wants to be treated, as opposed to how you think they should be treated or how you think they deserve to be treated. Because even with the best intentions, sometimes you can miss your mark and, not come off the right way. So I think we're down to our last 5.
Already?
Yeah, we've been on for just about an hour and 15. So yeah, we wrap this bad boy up.
Whatever you do, don't listen to Boykin and his advice.
I gave great advice today.
Don't do it. Walk away from the podcast.
If you want an everlasting love, listen to me.
I'm curious to see how that worksheet turns out, though.
Right? I want to see that too.
Yeah. So if you got that worksheet going on, definitely pull out that worksheet and see what it is that you're bringing. I thought that was pretty interesting, Mike.
Of course it was. I thought of it.
No, you probably didn't think about it. Your therapist probably thought of it. And you're just taking her fucking credit.
Go on Google. Go on Google right now and look it up. You won't find it because I ain't posted.
I promise you would.
You wouldn't because I ain't posted yet. So you guys are getting an exclusive right here. You're welcome, America.
Michael Boykin,
Singapore, Mexico.
Yeah, so
I'm saving marriages today.
I think today, so it was definitely interesting in the sense that we covered a lot of ground as far as the different points or different angles for getting to know your partner. I didn't really think we would get so deep into this today, but I think that we brought up some interesting points. And for you guys that are listening, let us know what you think. If there's something that you took away from this, or you felt like we missed the mark on that you want to dig a little deeper on, let us know. So we're always looking to improve the show and bring you content and material that you guys want to talk about and that you want to hear. So we definitely appreciate your feedback as always. And like I said, our show, so we're trying to keep them bi-weekly as of right now. So I think this will be our second show for the month of July. So the next one that we come on with will probably be for August. So you guys listen, let us know what you want to hear. Mike, Steph, any closing remarks, anything that you got for the fans out there today?
Stay tuned next week. Topic is, what is a sufficient amount of a tip you should leave when you go to a restaurant?
He doesn't leave no damn tip. I don't even know why that's a freaking discussion. He's gonna be like, nope, you don't get no tip. I'm taking you made me pay for a lemonade. You're not getting no damn tip. So anyways, anyone who knows him knows I'm right.
Oh my God. We're going to have so much fun with this because I think I got at least 10 years worth of stories about Mike and how he's treated the wait staff.
And his non-tipping ass.
I don't leave $40 tips for $5 service.
Oh my God.
Brandon over here going to fucking Jack in the Box. Like, oh my God, boy, this service was so good. I never had a bacon double cheeseburger like this. I'm going to leave her a $20 tip. Sorry.
I guess we'll tune in. We'll tune in to see how that goes next week.
Yeah, we'll definitely unpack this on next week, and the importance of actually tipping people that are waiters or waitresses that are out here busting their butt.
If the service is good.
You don't even believe that.
Right.
Because you won't even tip if the service is
good. You're gonna tell her, good job, that's your tip. Good job. Stay in school.
Hey, for the ladies out there who work at Buffalo Wild Wings or Dirty Birds, who will probably follow me on Instagram, do I leave good tips?
What and before we shut this thing down, what's your Instagram handle?
SoulAmazing01.
I think my Instagram handle is at Brandon L. Brown. That's Brandon with an E. Yes, my mom was special.
Brandon.
Named me Brandon with the E. That's the way you're supposed to pronounce it anyway. So,
his name is not Brandon, it's Brandon.
Brandon. I don't even know mine. I think it's just Cassie.Steph.
Okay.
I thought it was like Kiss Me Always or some shit like that.
Changed it. I'm too old for the Kiss Me Always. That was like years ago. Ain't no one kissing me now.
What's that? Yeah. Through the phone.
Yeah.
Babe.
Oh my God. my flip phone. Why y'all hating on my kiss me through the phone freaking ringtone? Jerks.
Hey man. Hey, quick question off subject, but you know what I want to do for my birthday this year? Well, next year, I want to have a late 90s, early 2000s theme.
A lot of people are doing those. That I think it's an excellent idea. A lot of people are doing those, and we can set that up next year so we can have the fans come out to your birthday party. Win tickets to Michael Boykin's 43rd birthday.
Eat a sack of baby dicks.
His second 43rd birthday.
Oh, well, if there is nothing else, again, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys is listening and supporting us so far. So this is the third show, and we're going to keep doing this as long as you keep rocking with us. So again, thank you for supporting the Triple O podcast. And with that, we are out of here. Later.
Deuces.
Peace.